Hey yo, this is Tru Sav and welcome to the Best Day Ever podcast, recorded live here in Oconda, California. Man, well, I've got some sad news to report. I was doing oh so good. I was eating like a saint. I was going to the gym. Your boys missed the gym the last couple weeks, and my cheat day turned into a cheat weekend. Still haven't had meat or sugar, but I had a little bit of bread, a little bit of cheese. But hey, I'm the happy hypocrite. Things like this happen. It's all right. I promise I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna be a shining example of what to be and what not to be. Uh, Recently, as I talked, well, I think I told you guys last time. Yeah, I had to. I went to my coworker's show in San Francisco at the nudie bar there. that was definitely fun. We didn't stay for the adult entertainment afterwards. Unfortunately, my wife, she wouldn't let me say that, or she wouldn't let me see that. But that's how the game goes. Nothing too exciting happened this week. Went to work, slept, went to work some more. Last night I caught up on the Mayans TV show. Oh, now I remember. See, this is what happens when you're old. You forget shit that happened the day before yesterday. I got up on Sunday morning, which is my Saturday, went to the gym, rode the bike for about 2 hours, watched a hood movie. Those are my favorite kind of movies. Like, not like the big paid in full or anything like that, but like hood movies on YouTube made by your local rapper. The kind where they have guns, but they don't really fire. They're just the prop guns. So they have to add special effects for them to fire, or there's only one camera angle. The kind where they don't have permits, where they don't refilm scenes, so they'll film the scene once. In terms of hood movie, it was pretty good. It was obviously some local rappers from, where was it, North Carolina. So they would shoot their scene, and then once a new character was introduced, they would rap for a couple of minutes. Then the movie would go on for about 10, 15 minutes. Then when a new character was introduced, it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. I've definitely seen worse hood videos, but that one wasn't that bad. So I watched the movie, come back. So my wife tells me that we got a letter from the management place in the apartments we stay in, and they're raising our rent by like $300, something ridiculous. I mean, it's $300 isn't the point. The point is they're building new apartments everywhere in Oakland. So for the amount of money that we pay to live in this, what would I call this? This dilapidated building. Well, the building's not bad. It's nice for what we were paying. I mean, I would like it to be a little bit cheaper. The main problem is there's no real amenities in said apartment. We have to pay for laundry. And it's still like the old school quarter machine, and it's in the basement. So you have to go into this like dungeon to wash your clothes, and it's just a hassle. And there's still some people in the building who were here before they remodeled. If I remember correctly, I think there's 4 of them. There is one guy we refer to as Drunky McGee, affectionately. I'll post some pictures of some of the bottles that he leaves outside. My man gets so drunk that he can't walk up the stairs some days. Like, he literally can't walk up the stairs. Like, he's almost fallen down the stairs before. He locks himself out of the apartment. It's something else. There's an older guy who dresses like he's 20, but he like needs a walker and a cane. He's cool. He's cool people, but I mean, well, there's nothing really wrong with him. He's just old. There's the chain smoker who smokes he's got to smoke a pack a day, maybe more. I feel like every time I go outside, and he smokes cigarettes like at 4 o'clock in the morning, he'll be out there 10, 11 o'clock at night. And he's really weird because he doesn't really talk to anybody. But if there's kids outside, he'll talk to them. And I'm like, yeah, you're super creepy. I don't really like you. Then there's the lady that's got to be 80, and she's in a walker, and it looks like her apartment hasn't been fixed since the 80s or 90s. Like one time she opened her door, and the overwhelming aroma of just mildew and body odor and roach remnants just overpowered me, and I almost passed out. She's a nice lady. Don't let's not be mistaken. She's really nice every time you talk to her, but that apartment, they might as well burn that motherfucker down. It just like there's no fixing that. Well, there's always a way to fix it, but even still. So the way rent control works is that they can't kick them out. So they're still probably paying, if they're not on Section 8, so they're probably paying less than $1,000 a month. But they don't have any improvements to their apartment. So it's like, why am I paying the ridiculous amount of rent I'm paying and we live in the same building? Which is fine, but again, we wanted to move because these other buildings, these brand new buildings that they have amenities. A couple of the ones we looked at had washer and dryers in the unit. So that was a sale. That was a big plus. They have an on-site gym. They have like an open area, like with TVs outside, like flat screen TVs. One area had like a fire pit outside, which is going to come in handy because it's about to get cold. But like the little seating area had 3 or 4 different like sitting areas. They all had TVs in each different area. There was 3 or 4 grills outside. Then we went to go see the roof. Oh, 360 view of, you can see Oakland. You can see all of downtown Oakland. You can see both bridges. I was sold. I was more than convinced. And the funniest part about it is that the rent at the brand new place was cheaper than what they were going to charge us to stay here. So, I mean, it wasn't even a decision. So we will probably be moving to another part of Wakanda, and I'll have some nice pictures to share with you. Then we saw another place that wasn't even, it was nice, but they wanted way too much. Now their amenities, they were something nice. They had a same kind of dining room setup, really nice lounge, a couple different seating areas, similar to the first one. Their roof was Now what they did have was a movie room. Now this movie room was player. It had about 16, 17 chairs, the movie style chairs, the leather chairs that recline, all of that. And you could hook up your video game system. You could watch movies in there. It was free to everybody in the complex. And I was like, I've been debating about getting that PlayStation. I might have to bring that PlayStation in there. But just overall, the price wasn't worth the amenities. The rooms were really small. So it was, maybe next time. So we did all that Sunday. So then today we turned in all our paperwork. So we'll know probably in a week or so. We're moving to another part of Wakanda. The interesting thing that did happen this week, though, I was talking to one of the ladies I work with, and there's been some issues at the job at 24, and she was saying that one of the managers, they're having a conversation, so on and so forth, and during the conversation, she told me that the manager thinks that I'm a bully. So I was shocked. Yeah, no, I was shocked too. Me of all people. I'm the nicest person you've ever met. And she told me that the manager thought that I was a bully. She said, no, I disagree. And the manager's like, well, I heard that you and him don't really talk. And she said, well, our disagreement is something else. Like that's between the two of us. But it has nothing to do with him being a bully. We just disagree on certain things. So that was that. And so it made me start to think like, am I really a bully? Like, I don't think I am. Like, I don't think I fit the qualifications of being a bully. So I looked it up. I went to a couple different websites, and it says a bully. Bullying is a repeated aggressive behavior where one person or group of people in a position of power deliberately intimidates, abuses, or coerces an individual with the intention to hurt that person physically or emotionally. Acts of bullying can be physical or verbal. Many young people can be unkind to each other during adolescence as they refine social skills and grow to adults. Blah, blah, blah. There's a clear line between conflict and bullying. Incidents of bullying may include all three of these characteristics. Intentional, repeated, or power imbalance. Intentional being the person was aggressive and a deliberate attempt to hurt the person. I don't think that's me. These aggressive actions occur repeatedly. That's not me. And the person bullying has more physical power or social power than the child or children being bullied. Still not me. Like I include everyone in stuff that we're doing, especially at work. Like I don't know you in the real world. Like I don't constitute work as the real world. Work is just somewhere that we go to do stuff. The person that I pretend to be at work is not the person I am in real life. I don't. Let's see. It goes on to say, bullying also takes an emotional toll upon the child being bullied. The actions that constitute bullying vary. 4 types of bullying, which can occur separately or simultaneously. Physical bullying, verbal bullying, relational bullying, such as excluding or rumor spreading, and then cyberbullying. Yeah. I don't think I fit the description. I don't really. I think. Well, no, I know what it is. Let me stop lying. I'm a bully. I am, and I love it. Being a bully is fun. And let me describe what I mean. I don't pick on people who are weaker than me. I don't try to physically impose myself on people. Like, you're a bitch if you do that. And let me qualify this. When I say bitch, I'm not referring to a negative definition of a female. Most of the bitches I know are guys. Like, I should probably use a different word. You're a coward. You're a weakling. So we'll use a different word. But I don't. Well, yeah, I pick on people, and by pick on people, what I mean is I bully bullies. And so if I see you picking on someone, or if I see you doing some mean girl type shit where there's 4 or 5 of you and you're giving people the silent treatment or acting like you want a problem, like I'm going to stick up for the person being bullied. Like that's just the way it is. If it's smart ass comments, then I got you. I want all the smoke. Like the kids say, I'm here for all that. Because my thing, what are you going to do? If you don't like it, we can fight. Like, all right. Again, I don't want to take it there, but I mean, I'm not scared of you. And a lot of times I think, especially now, which we'll get into a little bit later, people who don't like to use physical violence try to use words and will try to say things. As a matter of fact, I can think of exactly what happened that made this person probably think I was a bully. There's a young lady that we work with that always has some smart ass shit to say. She's always got some slick shit to say, and I'm here for it. If that's what you want to do, we can go back and forth. A prime example would be she would say something like, "Oh, Tru Sav, that's why your pants are ugly." And I say, "Oh, that's why you're a single mom." Or, "Tru Sav, what you just said is so ridiculous." And I would respond with, "Don't use big words, you might choke on them." And it's not even that what I'm saying is mean. A lot of times it's my responses are too quick and they're too funny. So especially when someone's trying to do some they're trying to be mean or they're trying to embarrass you or something like that, if you respond with something too quick for them, or if they say something that they think is funny and people laugh a little bit harder at what I say than what they say, that's what makes you a mean person. That's when they're like, oh, you're a jerk, you're a smart ass, whatever. It's like, well, you wanted it. You were trying to be a bully. And so I'm going to show you what a bully really is. Now, again, I don't pick on people. Like, I don't talk about how people are dressed or anything like that. If you come for me, I'm definitely going to come for you. No, let me stop lying. I have had people tell me that before, people that I am friends with. Like, if you wear, there was one lady I worked with. She got mad at me because every time she wore a particular pair of pants, and I would see them, I would just be like, "Oh, those are cute. Oh, those are pizza making pants." And she finally told me, like, "Why do you always say that when I have those on?" I was just like, "They're just different. Like, I like them. Like, they're nice. Like, I'm not saying it to make fun of you or to make you uncomfortable. Like, I literally like them. Like, they're cool. Like, I don't know why you're sensitive about it." And she just told me, like, I am sensitive about it. Like, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't mention it. And then I feel like she intentionally wore them the next day to see if I was going to say something. But I didn't, because I am a nice person and I would never do that. Yeah, no. But, so this made me think, bullying, so let me be clear. Bullying is bad. The way I described it. The way the three things that they were talking about, was verbal, physical, rumor spreading, excluding, or cyberbullying, like, all of that is ridiculous. Like, that's not cool. If you're picking on people or something like that, you need your ass beat. Like, that's not cool at all. But with that being said, I think bullies are a necessary evil. It's kind of like the circle of life. Jesus, I better clarify this. Bullying can be a good thing sometimes. I shouldn't even use the word bullying. You need to come up with another word for that. But sometimes, in certain circumstances, it can be a good thing. And obviously, it's a bad thing. We know it's a bad thing. I know I can think of one bad time. There was a movie actually called Bully. It's a really good movie. It was actually based off of a trial in Florida where the kid, they were, 19, 20, something like that. And basically, the kid bullies the other kid into, like, doing some male prostitute type shit. And he takes a pussy from his girlfriend. So, well, I can't tell you what happened. But basically, he bullies the other kids. And, yeah, some stuff happens. It's just Google the movie Bully. It'll give you a synopsis. I'm not going to give it away. But, yeah, like, cases like that, I know movies talk about a lot. Bowling for Columbine. If you're old like me, you know what Columbine was. That's an example of bullying gone a little bit too far. I didn't watch Mean Girls or The Devil Wears Prada, but apparently those are examples of some Mean Girl type stuff. An example I can think of where bullying kind of turned would be my man Michael motherfucking Wiggity Westside White Boy World War III Wheeze. Now, I wasn't there when this happened. This was before my time. But apparently, a couple of other savages back in the day used to always beat Mike up. Like, it was just always happened. Because he was the weird kid. He was the outcast. He was just strange. He wasn't in the pack. He didn't really have a social circle. So, if you're not in the pack, you're going to get ate. So, over the years, he became cool. Like, after a while, like, you can only beat somebody up for so long. So, after a while, he became cool. And he became one of the savages. And my man got married, has a kid, has a regular job. He's a normal member of society. So I think at a certain point, everyone has to make a choice. Do I want to continue to be the victim and be a pushover, or am I going to fight back? And that's not to say that that's what should happen to everybody. People respond to different things in different ways. He might have made the transition without having to fight all the time. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. What I can tell you, though, is after this had happened, so after he became part of the crew and he was a savage through and through, he brought a situation to us one time where we were all at the apartments, at the Savage apartments, 9401 Bruceville in the building. And he calls us and was like, hey, apparently, because if you hadn't figured out, motherfucking Weiss is white. But most of the Savages are black or Israeli in some cases, or Mexican, whatever. We come from a wide range of backgrounds. So Weiss likes to say nigga, or I'm sorry, Michael motherfucking Worley, my bad, I forgot. He likes to say nigga a lot. Not really like in conversation, but like singing a song or some shit. Like he would say it. I don't think he really says it too much nowadays, but I digress. So apparently one of his coworkers took exception with him saying this, and they decided that they were going to press Weiss or Worley. God damn, I swear I'm going to stop saying that by the end of the show. So we get a phone call, and he says, yeah, there's like 6 guys outside my apartment talking about they want me to come outside and fight dude. So we're like, well, hold on, we'll be outside in a second. So unbeknownst to them, we come outside, we're probably 3 or 4 deep. So now it's a fair fight. So we tell them, come outside, all right, come out to the grass, and we'll let you guys fight. So in true Savage form, motherfucking Worley beats the brakes off a dude. Because, I mean, like most bullies, he was a pussy. Dude tried to bully him because he had the numbers, and he got his motherfucking ass whooped. And Mike called him a bitch nigga as he whooped his ass. It was great. Now, again, am I saying that bullying people works all the time? No. But in this particular situation, the victim turned into the victor. I mean, we all know a bully. I mean, most bullies are only brave when they're in the presence of other people. We all know that bully. When there's 6 or 7 of them and they're all tough, or when they're the bigger kid. I know a guy like that from junior college. He was Debo. He was only a tough guy around people that knew him. Because you got to remember, in Sacramento, like, it was a lot of gang shit. So bullies got shot. Like, all that fucking, I'm a tough guy, you're going to get shot. Because people would always ask me, like, you were big, like, if I was your size, I'd be slapping motherfuckers. Like, no, you wouldn't. Because the first time you slap the wrong person, you're going to get shot. Like, that's just the way it goes. There is no picking on people. Like, it doesn't go like that. But this was early 2000s, so this was before that really became a thing. People still fought from time to time. But yeah, he would pick on people, and because I mean, a lot of times people just don't want to fight. It has nothing to do with being scared. It has nothing to do with being a coward, anything like that. But a lot of times it's just not worth the hassle. Because if you do beat up the bully, they're going to want to fight you forever. So a lot of times people are just like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to move on with my life. And you're going to do whatever. It's not really that big of a deal. I know I was like that. I was like, I'm not really going to fuck with you. I don't really have the time or the energy to deal with no pussy, to deal with your bitch ass. What is it? It reminds me of Friday. Also reminds me of House Party. Well, I didn't run like Ken did. But in House Party, I know you remember the 3 dudes. I can't think of their names. But there's always bullies. Movies have emphasized this point for years. They were bullies in House Party, the older brother in Home Alone, Karate Kid. As much as people love Tupac, he was a bully in Juice. Got to get the wind beneath your, what do you say? You got to get the ground beneath your feet, the wind in your back, partner. Fucking bully. It was a bitch ass bully. I mean, it's as ugly as bullying is, though. It's almost a rite of passage because if you get bullied as a child, you're going to get bullied as an adult. Perfect example. Well, this is not an actual example, but in Back to the Future, I mean, that was one of my favorite movies of all time. But Biff is a real life person. We all know a Biff, like that. Just fucking that asshole that is not. Well, some people would say our president is, but we don't talk about politics here. But in the movie, dude picked on him in high school. He became an adult that just took whatever he wanted. And until you stand up for yourself, no one's ever going to respect you. One of my favorite memes is, it says, some people won't respect you until you disrespect them. Meaning that if someone is continually stepping on you or taking advantage of you, they're not going to respect you until you do something to them. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's just the way it is. Until you tell somebody shut the fuck up, or you punch them in the mouth, or you stand up for yourself, people aren't going to respect you. It's the way of the world. I hate to be the one to break it to you. And as much as, well, the one story that I know we've all seen that deals with bullying is the Christmas Story. We've all seen the Christmas Story a million times. Poor little Ralphie got picked on all the way to school, and then what happened? He was mad enough one day, and he whooped the bully's ass. And wouldn't you know it, he went on to live his life, and whatever else happened in Christmas Story 2, nobody watched that garbage. But back to my point. Let me stop. Even as early as high school, like something in me just, I never really liked, because we've all seen someone be bullied, whether it was the awkward kid, the poor kid, and that always struck a chord with me, because I've been in elementary school, middle school, I was the awkward one. I didn't really fit into the social groups, so I always had a soft spot for the outsiders, the weird kids, the one-offs. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all people, especially with kids, because kids are cruel. I just learned earlier how to fight back, especially with, well, this is why I'm a 10-time reigning world champion capping artist. Like, you have to learn how to say something back. If not, you can't, because you can't always fight. You can't always get into fights with people. But if you can back people off with words, and people learn that, oh, I wouldn't say nothing to him because you're going to get bagged on, people will leave you alone. Because I'm here to tell you, my fits from back in the day, they were horrible. From my shoes all the way up. I was rocking Fila's and corduroy jeans and all types of knockoff shit. So, I mean, I had the Nike shirt with the Fruit of the Loom tag. I had everything. I was ripe for getting picked on. But after a while, after maybe a couple months in the 7th grade, people knew. Like, yeah, you might get off one or two fat jokes, or you might get off a couple jokes about his clothes. But after that, I'm just going to say some mean, hurtful shit. I'm going to talk about your parents. I'm going to talk about your grades. I'm going to talk about your entire appearance. And I'm going to keep going. My thing was scorched earth. I'm going to make it so that nothing grows here ever again. If you decide that you want to have a little bagging session, that's fine. But I'm not going to stop. If you get one joke, I'm going to get 3 or 4. If you decide to keep going back and forth and we keep going, then I'm just going to escalate. I'm going to talk about your clothes, your grades, your mama, your daddy, your girlfriend. I'm just going to keep going because I've got all day. And this was kind of my self-defense mechanism. But now the problem is when standing up for other people, sometimes you can't stand up for someone who won't stand up for themselves. Like I can only do so much. I can tell people not to pick on you, and I could be like, I got your back. But if you won't fight back, then I can't really help you. There's not much I can do. But as a matter of fact, I remember in high school, there was a guy, Mike Quist. Never forget. He hated bullies more than I hated bullies. And Mike was a big motherfucker. Mike was probably like, well, to me, he was big. So I was a freshman. He was a senior. Mike was probably 6 foot, 6'1", probably about 3 bills. Wrestled, did track, football, all that, all city, all that type of stuff. I saw Mike. He also didn't like people who smoked. And while dude wasn't necessarily a bully, I saw Mike drag dude who was smoking a cigarette in the bathroom. First of all, he picked him up over his head and fireman carried him to the office with the cigarette and dropped him on the counter in the office. It was like, yo, he was in the bathroom smoking. It's just anything. Like you walk by and you push somebody into a locker, Mike would throw you into a locker. You would try to throw somebody in the garbage can for Freshman Friday, Mike would throw you in the dumpster. Like it was, again, I'm not saying that what he did was right, but he was right. Like, cause I mean, again, no one likes a bully. Bullies are the biggest fucking cowards there are. Unless you pick on bullies like I do, and then it's cool. That's not really that bad. Well, it is kind of bad in some situations, but not really. Kids nowadays are kind of soft. Anyway, I blame technology. Like I said, bullies, a lot of times bullies are punk motherfuckers, but back in my day, it was a necessary evil. It determined your spot in the total, or it determined your spot in society. And even back then, the people that you would call nerds or the outcasts, like, you didn't pick on people because you would just have to fight, and that was it. So there was more. The thing with kids nowadays, Jesus, I sound so old. The problem with you kids nowadays, the problem with technology, as I see it, is that it's taken face-to-face interactions away. When you were a kid, you knew if you went to the basketball court and there was a problem, there was no, I'm going to report you or I'm going to block you or unfriend you. No, you were going to get punched in your mouth. Was that the right thing? No. It was just what I was used to. So you knew you had to act a certain way or you had to carry yourself in a certain manner to keep shit like that from happening to you. The reason why I say this, when we went on our anniversary trip to Monterey, it made me kind of think about this. Well, a couple of things that happened that made me think about this. But one was we went to this hotel. It was a little, not even a bed and breakfast, but a lot of hotels have the continental breakfast in the morning with your sausage, pancakes, and apple juice, stuff like that. So we're eating whatever, and this family leaves. They appeared to be European, Eastern European. This is white guy, wife, 2 kids. Kids are probably, under 13 to 14. So they eat and they leave their food there on the table. Like they leave their plates, napkins, they just leave their mess, they get up and walk out. There's another family next to them. I'm assuming they were Indian. Like not like from India, but I'm assuming, I couldn't really tell. Their accent seemed like they were South Asian, Southeast Asian, something like that. So the son gets up and it was like, I can hear them talking back and forth, and he says, they did that yesterday, like they didn't pick their trash up. Like, I can't believe that. I'm going to say something. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, it's about to go down. I'm thinking he's going to do something. So he goes outside, he opens the doors, hey, you left your trash on the table. I was like, you bitch. So you're just going to leave it? You're just going to leave it? Oh, real cool, bro. Way to set an example for your kids. And I was just kind of like, why did you even say anything? Like, you tried to shame him into picking it up? Like, I mean, if you weren't going to do something, what was the point in you saying something? Like, if he didn't do it, then what? Like, you weren't going to make him do it. So what makes you think that shaming him would make him do it? And that's what I mean, is that people are assholes now because they know you're not really going to do shit. There's cameras everywhere. So if you do go outside and you do decide to accost this person, you're probably going to go to jail. At the very least, you're going to go to jail. At the very worst, they're going to sue you. And I see these kind of interactions all the time. I see them at work all the time. In the grocery store, at the gas station. Like, people will talk some real deal shit to you. Like, people will really act like they are not scared of getting their ass beat. Because back in the day, there wasn't cameras everywhere, and if there was, it was some grainy ass black and white. You can't really see who the person is, so you could catch a real ass whooping outside in the parking lot. A girl that my friend was dating was a victim of this. I think I had to have told this story. She was new to Sacramento. She came from Manteca, and she pulled into a gas station on Gerber and Power Inn. If you know where that is in Sacramento, you know what that means. You don't fuck around over there. So the way she told the story, someone was backing in to the parking spot, and she zooms into the spot, gets out. The lady called me and says, hey, I was going to park there. I was backing up. She's like, oh, well, you move too slow. She goes inside, puts money on the register, comes back outside, and promptly gets her ass beat. So as she's getting assaulted, she's calling out for help. Help me, help me, help me, help me. And the bystanders don't do anything. The pair get in the car and drive off. And as she's telling us the story, she's like, I can't believe that happened. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you were being an asshole and someone corrected your behavior. Oh, well, that's fucked up. They shouldn't have done that. It's like, well, you shouldn't have took their spot. And then you dared them to do something. Like, and she just couldn't understand. She's like, well, you shouldn't beat someone up over a parking spot. It's like, well, you were being the aggressor. You took their spot, and then when they said, hey, you took our spot, you basically said, fuck you, what are you going to do? And they showed you what they were going to do. Took this ass whooping. And again, I work with a lot of young people, so I see a lot of this behavior in them. Again, the way I present myself at work and who I am in real life is two different things. So I never tell them how I would really react to a situation. I just kind of play along with what they say. And again, like I was saying, there's no face-to-face interaction nowadays. Back in my day, when you were walking around, you would see people, you would interact, and you learned how to interact. You learned interpersonal communication. Well, nowadays, everything is through a computer screen. So, I learned some new words for this today. There's always internet gangsters and keyboard warriors. Some new ones I learned were a keyboard warlord, armchair commando, cyber Rambo, keyboard crusader, or your Facebook loud. That was a new one. I never heard that one before. But basically, it's all ways to describe somebody who talks shit on the computer, but then when they meet up in real life, they don't want any problems. I'd noticed this with some of the guys that I would work with, because they would talk big shit. They'd be on their phone. Oh, when I see you, I'm going to slap you, and this and this and this. I'd spit in your face, and it's like, oh, you're really thugging it, huh? And then they would see the person, and nothing would happen. And I was like, bro, because as a matter of fact, one of the kids was in high school, and he was showing me these messages that he had posted on his Facebook, Instagram, something. And he was talking about slap a dude and this and this and this. And when I see you, it's on site. Basically, he was reciting rap lyrics is what it was. And when he saw dude put it on him. And I only know because he went to high school with some of the kids that work there. So they came back and couldn't wait to tell me to be like, bro, so and so got his ass whooped. He talked all that shit. It is. I just don't understand. Like that's what I say when I mean the internet has made people soft, and cameras and all of this. Oh, bullying is a problem, and this and this. It creates it. Well, I can best describe it with this old saying, as it says, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. I hope I said that right. So when I heard that made the most sense I've ever heard. Because when it's bad, when it's rough conditions, create strong people because you have to deal with everything that's happening. So when I think of that, it makes me think of maybe the generation before us, or even kind of my generation when things were bad. 80s and 90s were fucked up. And from that, you create a generation of people who've seen the worst and now try to solve that. It really makes me think of the parent-child dynamic in certain situations. So your parents might have come from a bad situation. They came from poverty, whatever. They've raised themselves up to be middle class. Now that you have this middle class child, they don't understand what the struggle is. So now they in turn have become a weak person because they've had everything handed to them. They didn't have to worry about if they were going to eat. They didn't have to worry about light bills not getting paid, having to wear the same clothes every day. They didn't have that struggle. So now they become a weak person. Not in all circumstances, but in certain circumstances. And so now this weak person in turn creates bad times. They create strife for other people, so on and so forth. And I really feel like that's what these kids are about. Like they're just some weak-minded. Hold on. I can't call them a bitch. Hold on. We got some synonyms for weak. Debilitated, delicate, faint, feeble, softened, tendered, wimpish motherfuckers. But I know some of my favorite videos on YouTube, World Star, all of that, are when these bullies meet up in real life with people. When all that Facebook gangster shit comes to a head. There's three that I can think of, and strangely enough, they're all with women. The guy ones are all right, but I think it's funnier when it's women because a lot of times female bullies are a lot more aggressive, especially when they think that women won't fight back. Because women don't typically use aggression the way that men do. Women usually, how do I say this nicely? Women are usually more vicious. Like men will just fight. You can fight, it's over with. But women know how to use words. They know how to find your weakness and really go at it, especially adolescent women with the slut shaming thing, or even just making up rumors about people and socially ostracizing people. That's some cruel shit. I don't think a lot of guys can put up with that. But the way that women do it is something else. So when they use physical violence, I think I get a little bit more pleasure out of watching them get their ass beat. Because that's a fair fight. When you're using words and you're fucking with people's mental health, that's a whole another ballgame. My favorite one is the girl. The woman. One has a pink shirt on, one has like some kind of jersey shirt on, and she comes to her front door and she's talking loud, whoop, 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 I'm gonna slap you, bitch, blah, blah, blah. And the girl with the jersey proceeds to Southside stomp her ass. So after she beats her ass, then it starts getting good to her. Yeah, bitch, you came over here talking all that shit. And then it gets to the point where the girl that ran up doesn't even want to fight anymore. Why did you have to do me like that? You didn't have to hit me off the ground. Like, there's always a common theme with bullies. After they get their ass beat, then all of a sudden you're an animal because you beat the shit out of them. Now they want to talk about peace. No, that type of shit. That's second favorite one would have to be the girl with the shovel, where she hit the girl in the head with the shovel. That was a good one because again, the first girl came to her house. Like if you come to somebody's house talking about you want a problem, and then you get fired on, I don't have any sympathy for you. This I rewatched these. I rewatched a lot of these today, so I could relive the moment. And yeah, she pulled up to the girl's house, had 6 or 7 people with her. So again, you pulled up with a mob of people. She had walked into her house and was talking about, "Oh, come out here, bitch! This and this and this." They fought for a little bit. The girl who she wanted to fight, it was a tie. She got a couple good shots in. But the girl was leaving. She was going. She's like, "I'm going to my house." Like, leave. The girl kept following her. She was like, "All right." She picked up the shovel. Then she tried to run, and it was too late. Smacked her in her dome with the shovel. And as soon as she hit her in the head with the shovel, then everybody was like, "Oh, why did you do that?" It's like, bro, what did you think was going to happen? You tried to pick on somebody. They fought back, and now that they fought back, now all of you want to jump on her? Like, nah. That's how you get shot, motherfucker. And my absolute favorite one, hands down, this is my favorite video of all time. There's a young lady who was picking on another young lady because of her clothes. Oh, your clothes are raggedy. Oh, your shoes are raggedy. This and this and this. And she's the young lady's walking home, head down, minding her business. There's a group of people. I don't think the group of people were going to accost her. I think they were just being egged on by the loudmouth. So, and the video was about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of her just, "You're poor, you're this, you're raggedy, blah, 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 blah." And finally, the girl takes her backpack off and proceeds to MMA style beat her ass. She catches her with like maybe the first 2, stunned her, and after she stunned her, she had a hold of her hair and it was nothing but uppercuts. Just bing, 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 bing. To the point where the whole crowd goes silent. Like no one is talking. Like it's just like, oh. Like she beat her ass so bad, the crowd turns and is now cheering on the girl assaulting her. Or I'm sorry, the girl who was being bullied and is now beating the bully up is now being cheered for. Like she's scoring the game-winning touchdown, which is great to see. And then she finally stops, she walks off, and then the whole crowd just turns on the bully and is like, "Ah, you got your ass beat. Look at you, look at you." So I mean, again, I'm not condoning or saying that this shit happened, but sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. There's certain situations where this is turned a blind eye to, and I understand, like that's fucked up. But sometimes you have to do something, otherwise you're going to be a victim forever. What I just found out about was this thing, cyberbullying. I didn't even know this was the thing. I'm old, so I didn't know it was. First of all, how the fuck do you get picked on a computer? That's what I don't understand. Like, it's not real. Like you're not looking at the person. Like they can't see you. You can't see them. Like I had no idea. So I looked it up. Apparently there's cyberbullying tactics. This is posting comments and rumors about someone online that are mean, hurtful, or embarrassing, threatening to hurt or telling someone to kill themselves, posting a mean or hurtful picture or video, pretending to be someone else online in order to solicit or post personal or false information. That's some deep shit. Posting mean or hurtful names, comments, or content about any race, religion, or ethnicity. Creating a mean or hurtful webpage about doxing, an abbreviated form of the word documents, is a form of online harassment used to exact revenge. Doxing I'd heard of. But maybe it's because I'm old, but that sounds like everything that happens in the cafeteria in high school. Saying mean, hurtful, or embarrassing shit. Telling people to kill themselves. Well, that's not funny. Like if someone really is upset and you're telling them to commit suicide, that's fucked up, and you're gonna go to jail for that shit. Posting mean or hurtful videos, like that's just talking shit. Like that's those. If that's the case, I'm a fucking bully for sure. If that's the case, if that's what bullying is, I'm the fucking king bully. Because I used to do shit like that to people all the time. But if you started it, if it's, I guess the difference between being a bully and just retaliating is if you're doing it to someone who didn't do anything to you first. If you're just absolutely, if it's unsolicited and you're just picking on someone and saying mean, hurtful shit, then yeah, that's fucked up. You're a bully. But like, after seeing that, these kids wouldn't have stood a fucking chance in an Xbox Live match of Call of Duty. Oh my goodness. These kids would not survive. Like this. As a matter of fact, there was a video on World Star the other day. A kid, he was young. This was kind of fucked up. It was kind of funny though. He was maybe, sounded like he was in middle school, maybe 13, 14. And he was playing a video game. He was playing 2K, a little basketball game. There's a 3-on-3 thing. And the kid was playing, and he was putting up horrible stats. And the other two guys are talking shit to him. They're like, man, you fucking suck. Why are you playing? They fucking out-rebounded us 15-1. You're trash. Get off the fucking game. And the kid is trying to say, well, I tried my hardest. He's like, man, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. That's not funny. That's the cyberbullying, apparently. But, I mean, you've got to have tougher skin than that. Like, sticks and stones may break my bones, apparently, but words would never hurt. Like, how frail and fragile do you have to be for someone that you don't know can say something to you and it hurts your feelings? Even if it's true. Even if you are ugly, even if you are fat, even if your feet stink, you got to accept it. If there's things that you can change about yourself, you need to change them. If it's something that you can't change or something that's not true, you've got to have thicker skin than that. Oh my goodness. I mean, shit. I get bullied online all the time. All the time. If this is the standard for getting bullied, shit, I would be off of Facebook. I got bullied the other day, as a matter of fact. I got bullied twice in the same day by two different people. A common thing that happens a lot of times with, especially online, is people have become so sensitive now. You can't have an opinion that differs from theirs. Like we were talking about, I already told you guys about the football thing. So today, the guy posted this thing about the Patriots and the 49ers. And I was like, yeah, well, NFL's a business. It doesn't really matter. Something. So the first thing he says is something about running backs run the ball, defense tackle people, hashtag facts. I was like, okay. I was like, well, that doesn't change the fact that the refs have more impact on the game than the players. And, oh, you sound like you never won a championship on any level, have you? I was like, well, we won back-to-back championships. And then I posted a picture of us winning the championship with the caption, and he was like, oh. And he didn't really have a response after that. And then we continued the conversation, but he didn't really have as much vigor as he did before. Same thing when Jay-Z got this contract with the NFL. And this guy posted it, and I was like, yeah, Jay-Z's not really going to do shit. He's just a puppet. He's just trying to get his money. And the first thing that he said was, well, what have you done? What have you done for the community? This and that. I was like, well, thank you for asking. I worked with the Sacramento Black Chamber of Commerce for 7-8 years, built it from the ground up, created a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 or so jobs. I volunteer regularly. I worked with a real estate company to help refinance predatory loans. I've worked at Loaves and Fishes, which is a homeless shelter. I hand out free meals. I've worked at the Kaepernick Know Your Rights program. I volunteered as a coach from high school to the midget program. Is that good enough? And again, he paused for a little bit. Is well, I didn't know that. And it's like, well, why should I have to qualify? Why should I have to qualify myself to have an opinion? And that's kind of a form of bullying, especially online, where people will try and discredit you for your opinion. Instead of just saying, okay, that's your opinion, I disagree, let's have a conversation. That seems to be the new form of bullying. It's like, I guess I do know what cyberbullying is. I'm a victim. Hashtag me too. My favorite form of cyberbullying comes from women. I got cyberbullied about 3 months ago, I guess. Damn, I'm a victim. It just woe was me. It was someone that I've known since like 7th, 8th grade. She had I usually try not to get into arguments with people. I try to have a civilized discussion. I try not to name call or anything like that. Like that, there's a time and a place for everything, and name calling. If you're trying to have a discussion with people, telling people they're idiots or stupid or calling them out their name, it never really works. But I did learn a lot of new social justice warrior terms. I learned about mansplaining. That's I guess apparently when a man explains something to a woman in a condescending manner. I learned about microaggressions. I don't know. I still don't understand what those are. Apparently, it's being aggressive when you talk to somebody about something. I don't really know. Sea lioning. I get accused of that all the time. Sea lioning is when someone asks questions. The way it was described to me is when someone asks questions, but they don't really want an answer. They ask irritating questions so that when the person gets tired of answering the questions, they can appear to be the one who's calm and rational. I don't get it. Safe space, we all know what that is. Safe space not to be picked on or triggered, whatever the case may be. So the lady had posted something about kids or school, and so I commented. I was like, oh, well, do you think that all men are assholes or something? And well, you wouldn't know because this and this. I was like, oh, okay, well, why don't you explain it to me? Like, as far as I could see, it was XYZ. So then 5 or 6 of them start chiming in. Oh, well, you're just mansplaining and this and this and this, and you really know what's going on. It's like, no, I don't know. Like, this is why I'm asking you, because you apparently are experts on the situation. Oh, well, you're sea lioning and you're this and this and this. So after a while that I could see the conversation wasn't going to go anywhere, I just turned it to bully mode, I guess. And so I said, well, if you guys are such experts on relationships and how men and women interact, why are all of you guys single moms? Oh, what is that? I was like, I'm just saying, like, if you guys are so smart, how come the father of your children didn't stick around? Oh, that's because he was a piece of shit. And I was like, well, you got pregnant by him. I didn't make you get pregnant by him. So, I mean, maybe you're not the best judge of character. Oh, see, because you're a man and you stick. It's like, I don't know the father of your child. How can I stick up for him? I'm just asking. I'm a hypocrite. I know. That is which is funny in what is it called? In rhetoric and argumentation, amazing class everyone should take. That's called framing effect. Framing effect is when you say something that's true, but in the context in which you say it and the delivery with which you say it, people aren't going to like it. So, for example, if someone says, oh, I sure am getting kind of big, and you immediately say, well, if your big ass stopped eating cheeseburgers and drinking soda all the time, you probably wouldn't get so big. Now, what you're saying is true, but in the context which you said it and your delivery, people are going to get offended and they're going to respond negatively. So you can't really do it like that. That's not going to work. That's what we're going to do. Oh, that's what we're going to do next. We're going to talk about logical fallacies so you can win every debate that you ever have. Lastly, but not leastly, oh, look at that, right at the hour mark. So I guess I'll talk about when I got bullied and what I had to do. So remember that guy I was talking about, the one I went to junior college with? So we hung out with the same people. And again, like I said, I'm a smart ass. I'm not really a fighter. It's not my thing. I'm not going to pretend like I'm Iron Mike or some shit. But after a while, I would just kind of, me and some of the guys that we got into a situation with the police. He tried to say I was a snitch. So every time he'd see me, he would try to press me. And again, I'm not a fighter. I'm not really going to get into any of that type of shit. I would just walk away, like whatever. So one day I was with a friend of mine, and he was there when dude tried to press me. And I was just like, whatever, like, I'm just going to let it ride. I'm not even fucking with him. And so dude told me, he was like, look, if you don't do something, he's going to do this to you forever. Like, there's only two ways you can end this. Either you shoot this motherfucker and you take it that way, or you're just going to have to fight him. Well, I take it back. There's three ways. You can either shoot him, you can fight him, or you're just going to have to move. Like, you're just going to have to leave. And I was like, well, I can't leave, and I'm not going to shoot him. And I don't really want to fight him. And he was like, look, you may not want to, but that's just the way the game goes. If someone like that knows that you're not going to do anything, then they're going to fucking pick on you forever. I know. Not very savage, I know. So time goes by, and I was playing semi-pro football at the time. And wouldn't you know it, who's on my team? Dude. So the quarterback of the team, me and him used to carpool to practice. And as soon as the first practice ended, I told him, I was like, me and dude are going to get in a fight before the end of the season is over. Like, it's going to happen. Like, it's the immovable force meets, or what is it? The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Like, it's just, there's no way we're going to make it. Because at this point, how old were I? 27, 28. And this first event had happened when I was like 20, 21. So I've been in a whole bunch of fights by this point. So I was a different person at 27, 28 than I was at 21. And I just knew it was bound to happen. So we go through the year, game by game by game. I ended up getting arrested during part of the season, so I'd gone to jail for a couple weeks. So we're playing, I'll just remember it like it was yesterday. We were playing a team from Stockton. And it was the winner, whoever won this game was going to go to the playoffs. So I didn't suit up. I was drunk on the sideline. I'm chilling. It's hot in Sacramento. I'm chilling. Woo, talking shit. Da-da-da-da-da. So I'm drinking on the sideline, like literally bottle in hand. I'm in semi-pro. Nobody gives a fuck. So dude walks up and asks if he can have a drink out of the bottle. So I'm like, whatever. So I stick my hand out to give it to him, and then I drop it. Like, intentionally drop it. So he looks at me, I look at him, and I'm like, I mean, if you want something, pick it up off the ground and drink something, you bitch. I know, right? That shit was so funny. So he says, what did you say? And as soon as he says, what did you say? I just swung on him. Swoop. So the first one missed. The second one, I got him. Well, from the way the story was told to me, because I don't particularly remember, because I had a few. He swings, I swing, hit him again. I grab him. He gets slammed through a table on the sideline like it's WWE. So the fucking Gatorade bottle flies. Fucking, we get up, and people are grabbing us, separating us. People are holding me back because I was the aggressor. This motherfucker punches me while people are holding me. So now I'm really talking shit. I was like, because at this point it was beginning of the fourth quarter. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see you in the parking lot. Like, yeah, all right. I hope you have that same energy. Bring your bitch ass out here. So I come out to the parking lot and I'm drunk. So instead of fleeing the scene like I should, because I just got in a fight at a fucking high school, I stay there. The police show up. My shirt's torn. So I go to jail. Luckily, I didn't drive anywhere because I got a DUI. I go to jail for drunk in public. My car gets fucking towed because I had parked in the goddamn handicap spot. So I talked to the quarterback, and he was like, bro, that shit was so live. Like, he's like, we lost the game because no one cared about the game anymore. They wanted to see you guys fight after the game. So I'm just like, so now I'm embarrassed as fuck. I went to jail. I did all kinds of shit. So the way the universe works, so it's weird because the next day I ran into one of the guys that was at the game that was on our team. And as soon as he sees me, he's just like, oh shit, what's up, Craig? What's up? Obviously, Craig is the character from Friday that fought Debo. Because up to this point, no one had ever fought him. No one had ever said anything. It was just like, whatever, that's Debo. Whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, bro, that shit was funny as fuck. Like, you slammed that nigga, this and this and this. I was like, man, whatever. Like, I was tripping. They're like, nah, bro, because as much as people tolerated him, no one really liked this nigga. Everyone was waiting for somebody to do it, and I guess I was just that guy, and it was that day. So, of course, the way the game goes, maybe a year later, a friend of mine said he was playing for some semi-pro. No. I ended up going to jail again for some drunken public shit. I wasn't drunk this time. I had a beer in my hand, and I fucking go to jail. So I get processed. I walk into the cell, and guess who's in the cell? Motherfucking Debo. Now, I don't have a belt, and I don't have shoelaces, because they make you take all that shit out when you go to jail. So I'm immediately like, fuck. At least I'm sober this time, so I can put up a better fight. So as soon as I walk in, I just look at him like, what's up? And he was like, last time I saw you, you were fighting at a football game. Ha ha. And so in that breath, I was like, oh, okay, he doesn't want it. So I was like, well, okay. I'm still not comfortable though, because I'm like, I don't want you to get too close to me, because if you fire on me, like, there's nothing but concrete in here. So we go back and forth. We talk. And then he left before I left. So I was like, okay. And again, because the universe is a motherfucker, a couple months later, this was when I go to my friend's football tryout. And guess who's fucking there? Debo. So I'm like, God damn, I got to fight this nigga again. So I walk out to the tryout, and I see him. He sees me. He doesn't really. So everyone at the practice, they all know what happened, because, everyone knows the story. So they all stop and walk up. Oh, what's up, Tru Sav? Oh, nigga, blah, blah. They're looking at this bitch ass nigga. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I'm just like, all right. Whatever. I'm just living my life. Just chilling. So, yeah. Sometimes you got to stand up to the bully. As much as I didn't want to, as much as I tried to avoid it, like, sometimes you have to disrespect people for them to respect you. And that was the truest case in point. And after that, dude fell off because no one was scared of him at that point. So I think the last time I seen him, he was in jail for like some home invasion type shit, because he was trying to bully somebody else. So he ran up in their house and was trying to bully him, and they called the cops. And so, I guess it's off to prison where you can really see how tough you are. So I don't know. The moral of the story being a bully isn't cool. As much as I try to make it sound funny, I don't condone bullying. If you're a bully, you're a bitch ass motherfucker. If you're picking on someone who doesn't want to fight back, I guess I'm a bully by definition, but I don't think I could really be a bully if people are trying to pick on me. I don't really know how that works, but I don't know. That, and too many kids need to grow a fucking backbone. Like, if you're letting people pick on you on the internet, you're letting words from a stranger offend you or hurt your feelings, you just can't be that soft. Go outside. Play in the real world. Stop being scary. So, that's not my business. I made a promise, and I broke the fuck out of my promise. I just don't. I'm not up on social issues, y'all. I really just don't. I don't have time to follow so and so's baby mama said some shit. I'm working on the host. I'm trying to get it together. I don't know if she's really trying to rock, but I promise I'll let you guys know. So, questions, comments, concerns, best day ever podcast at gmail.com. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tru Sav Comedy. Oh, and I might have a big surprise about the Tru Sav thing. We'll know as soon as I get this email. I'll let you guys know. You guys will be the first to know. So I can't get yesterday back. I might not get tomorrow, so that makes today the best day ever. Holla at your boy.